is one stock that's done brilliantly well despite the sector having a lot of problems. Our reference is to Biocon. The stock has surged 80% this year, which itself is very good, but it is even better when compared to the benchmark, which has lost about 10% in the same period. Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, Chairman and Managing Director of Biocon, joins us now. Good morning, Kiran. Thank you very much for joining us. You gave investors a great 2016. How will 2017 look? In particular, do you think that it could be a very good year for your biosimilar product registrations in the US?
Well, you know, fingers crossed, but I think, as you can see, there's been an uptick in our stock this year, thanks to the better understanding of what we're trying to do. I think our Japanese regulatory approval for insulin glargine was the starting point, and thereafter we've had many filings that we have done both in EU and in US. And I think this actually augurs well for investors in terms of what they expect from us in terms of performance. And obviously we are hoping that we will get approval from EMEA, at least first in Europe, and thereafter in the US. So I think all eyes are on this European approval that we expect next year for some of our filings. So I think this is what basically investors have invested in terms of expected returns. And I just hope that this momentum continues in FY18.
But if you could, Ms. Shaw, good morning. If you could just tell us some numbers, any number of launches that you have planned in 2017 or which are likely. We understand that the timelines are fraught with uncertainty, but any more approvals, any filings, how many would it be?
As you know, we've already made several filings. We've already filed insulin glargine, pegfilgrastim and trastuzumab in Europe, and many of these have also been filed in the US. And so you can expect a few more filings next year. But having said that, I think what is most important is to really get one approval in the European market for some of these filings, and that actually gets us onto a very different tack.
Okay. Well, just to finish a near-term question that was rankling, have you totted up the losses because of that fire at Syngene? What's the final tally? Anything on the P&L?
No, as I mentioned, it won't reflect on the P&L because, we are well covered in terms of insurance.
Okay.
And actually, let me just share with you that although we did see a pretty nasty fire, which was a freak accident, I think, we have managed to actually salvage quite a lot of equipment. So the impact hasn't been as high as we expected. Having said that, yes, we are still tallying up the actual damage, the size of the damage, but I would say that it is lower than what we had expected.
Okay. Ma'am, earlier today we heard Sun Pharma buying a branded oncology product, Adomzo. Is that going to be the preferred strategy for Indian pharmaceutical companies to focus on specialty and branded products rather than the generic route?
Well, obviously, India is a market, and there are several such markets for branded generics and branded formulations. So I think that's what Sun Pharma is doing. And of course, I think we've always believed as a company that specialty is the way to go. So I think Biocon very clearly focused its attention on metabolics and oncology, and immunology, which is really our specialty focus. And many companies have done that. So I don't think, it's possible. I mean, other companies have been very successful in covering the whole arena. But I think we as a company feel that you will get better returns on investment if you are really sort of focused on specialty sectors.
Well, wanted to know about glargine in the US. will we expect the filing in 2017, early 2017?
You know, I can't give you exact timelines, but definitely FY18, you will be able to see us filing Glargine in the US.
And when is the expected approval for Crestor generic in the United States?
Oh, that's been approved already. So
Okay.
we are, our rosuvastatin has been approved.
Okay.
Our ANDA has been approved in the US. So we are on target to launch that product in the US in the near future.
Okay. Well, you've been doing a 20% top line growth and a 25% margin quite easily for the better part of 2016, which of course is much to the appreciation of your investors. Would this be the longer term trend, or as you gather momentum, you will better these numbers for FY18?
I would say that a lot of this depends on our biosimilar launches in US and Europe, and that would really sort of better these numbers. But for the time being, I think we have gained a lot of traction in many of the emerging markets with our biosimilars. So we expect to deliver at least a decent set of numbers going forward, and then hopefully we will better these numbers as our biosimilars hit the developed markets, that is basically US and Europe. Those will actually then start generating, exponential kind of income and profits.
And FY18 might be that year when it starts?
Well, I don't think it'll capture a lot of it in FY18, because even if we get a European launch, you know that the real opportunity is in the US. So we will see some contribution to that uptick in probably the latter half or the end of FY18, but FY19 and FY20 is really when we expect some of these numbers to look very, very attractive.
All right, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, Kiran Mazumdar Shaw, for speaking with us, for a great 2016 for the investors, and all the very best for 2017.